Greetings, YouTubers. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good myself. Staying pretty busy. Had a couple of requests on my 2000 Expedition 4.6. Winter's not far off. A few months here, it's going to be getting cold. And what I'm going to be doing is actually replacing the entire front heater core on this thing. Stay tuned. I'll have a video for that, hopefully in the next few weeks for that. And also, there's a heater core back here in the back. If you have this Expedition, and actually I think all the Expeditions will have this. And there's also an air conditioning unit back here, and there's also a blend door back here that will adjust the air from the side panels back up to the top, and I believe back down to the floor up front. I'm not sure, but I know there's a blend door actuator right about there, and there is one up in the dash. Now they all work and I have no problem with them and all that. But what I need to do today before I go ahead and start planning to order some heater cores for this vehicle, I wanted to go ahead and pull this panel out, look in here and get a picture of this heater core. That way when I do go to order the heater core, I'll have the same one and I won't have any issues with that. So I've had, like I said, I've had some requests. A couple of people wanted to know how to take all this stuff off and get in here. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to take it off and get in here and repair your blend door actuator, or repair maybe your or replace your heater core. So let's get to it. Alright, now the first thing we need to do, I went ahead and tipped the back seats here up. I just kind of pushed them forward because there's a piece of trim that we'll eventually have to take off, and you'll need some tools. I got a pair of pliers out here and a straight screwdriver for now, so I got to get up in here. And by the way, look how nice this is in here. Never thought I'd end up owning one of these. I used to see these in the junkyard all ripped apart, and I always thought, who would want one of these? And wouldn't you know, a couple years later I actually own one, and I'll tell you what, it's been a very good SUV. Gets about 20 miles a gallon, and it rides great, and I do a lot of towing with it. So it's been a very good vehicle, and I plan to keep it for quite some time. Just goes to show, if you take care of your vehicles, they will run forever. Alright, so first thing we've got to do is get over here, and we got a couple of these guys here we got to take off. Sometimes you have to use a pair of pliers here to kind of break them loose. There we go. Get these off out of the way for now. And we'll try to film this and hold my hand on the camera at the same time. We'll see how this goes. Right, there's one, and they're just little, they're just like metal screws that screw into the side of the frame. We got one on the bottom. Let's see if I can just actually get it with my fingers. Oh, okay, get this one off. This one off to the side. And there, that is off. And I might just go ahead and give you a peek in here. Pop this panel off here. This is the access into the door here, the blend door. Actually, you know what? I'm doing it wrong. There we go. And be careful when you're prying this off. You have to pull up from the bottom and pull up like that. Now, there's the back of this. And you can see how these clips are kind of on there and how they go on there. Get that off the side. And now here is the motor, the blower motor. There's the air conditioning system, and the heater core is actually back here. We can't see it right now because we got this panel in the way. So let's go ahead and pop off some trim. I usually go on the top here and just kind of pull this off on the top here. Pull it down. Oops, grab my hand here and yank it off. And just take your time at it. Don't be in a big hurry. And you can see how these clips are kind of in there to hold this piece up right there. Alright, so let me spin around here. And now we'll go ahead and pop this off here. And you'll have to get a T. Let me see, I think it's a T40. I'm not for sure. Let me go to my toolbox there and see what I can grab. Alright, so I got one of these guys here, a nice set of these star bits right here, these are actually security bits, but you can still work with them if you have some bolts to break loose. That set only cost me, I believe it was $6. So we got to take this bolt out that holds the seat belt on. Get this off. pretty long. Alright, now we can just kind of pull up on it. It should come off, and we'll just kind of let this sit down like this right now. And you gotta watch, you got this, let me show you something here. You got your little cover that goes on there like that, and you got your safety washer there. And now, we'll just go up here and we'll pull this off like this. Usually it comes off pretty easy. And I'm hoping the lighting will stay sufficient out here because I know I'm in and out of the sun and my iris doesn't like that. There we go. All right, we'll get this off. And you can see you got these clips on the back that hold that into the upper part of the back pillar. So we'll put this off to the side. And now I'll go ahead and move my tools out of the way over here off to the left. And now what we got to do, let me get out of here real quick. We got to pop this panel here off. Let me get back here. Get this off, get the screwdriver up under it. Once you get your screwdriver up under it, usually you can just pull it straight up like this. Doo-doo. There we go. And now we'll just put this over here off to the side. And now all we have to do is pull this trim back a little bit, this rubber piece. Not trim, well, rubber piece, water gasket. And now we can get up in here, and we got one more piece we got to kind of deal with here. And it's right here where your slide adjustment is for your back seats. We got to take this piece here off. So what we got to do is go ahead and pop this plastic cover off. And we got this nut that we got to take off, so let me take that off. Oh, by the way, I think I forgot to mention, this is actually a T50 that you use on this back seatbelt bracket here for the third row seat. And taking that panel off. Now we can go up here and pop this guy off, and this will be a 15mm socket, which I've got set up right here. And take this bolt off. Alright, yeah, that came off pretty good. So we'll pull this off here like this, and there's our nut. And we'll slide this off like this. There we go. Put this down on the bottom like that. And now we can just pop this plastic panel off. Now you may have to go around front and open the door on the side because there's some weather stripping that sometimes will catch it. Let's see, on the top here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Turned out to be a clip right there. So put that off to the side over there. Yowzer, boy, the sun is bright today. This is our we're at the end of September, and this is going to be almost 90 degrees today, and this is probably going to be it. After this, it starts to get cool. It's going to be down in the 30s and 60s in the daytime, and fall is not far away. Okay, so we got all that off. We got the trim off, and there's one more piece of trim that we have to take off, and I'm going to have to stand up a little bit here to make my life a little bit easier. We got to take this piece of trim off right here. That's behind this seat. Just kind of pop it up like that. And once we pull it up, we can just kind of push it up out of the way like this for now. And now we are ready to go ahead and pop this panel off. So what I typically do, I'll grab it down here on the bottom and just kind of pull out like this, and it should free up. Now a good rule of thumb is if you're new at this and if you don't want to cut your hands, you might want to wear a pair of gloves, but I've had this off before. And we'll just kind of grab it, and we got one clip here we got to pull back on like that. And what we're going to do, we're going to push it back out of the way so we can have a little bit of an excess back here. And the carpet here likes to get hung up on the bottom a little bit. There we go. Alright, now right here we got one of these little guys. This got broke before. Actually, it just slid off over the little plastic washer, the nut type thing. Don't forget that's there. And just simply pull back like this. Let me go up front again, because sometimes it gets hung up on this right here. There we go. I'm going to have to set the camera down because it's such a big piece. But a good rule of thumb is to go ahead and let's see. This is actually all free. What I need to do is to set the camera down and set this up and show you how I kind of pull it back out of the way and get in there and do the work. I tell you what, we'll just go one more step here. Not a big deal. We have one more bolt that we have to take out for the seat belt. It's hidden right back here behind this seat on the passenger side, and it's a T50. Let's go ahead and just take this out. I didn't take it out last time, but I figured I might as well just take it out now. That way you won't have to wrestle around with this entire cover. And once we get that loose, we'll just put off the side. I think you can see it there. And now all we got to do is walk around the front and simply just kind of push this off to the side like this. Now you'll have to work with the seat belt, pull it out like this, and you have access right into the heater core. And now like this, you can get in there and you can do all your work and get in here and do what you need to do. Now the blend door on this vehicle, you have two. You have one for the heat and you have one for the air conditioning. There's the one for the air conditioning, and this is one for the heater right there. They're very easy to get to. They're just little 8mm bolts, I do believe, right there that you take off, and you unhook that plug. Same here on the front. If you look closely, they have part numbers on them. If you need to get a part or anything, that's not an issue. Now here are my heater core tubes right here. My heat is right here. Now when I want to replace the heater core, I'll have to do some unbolting here, take some of these screws out, pop this off, and I'll be able to get in here and replace all this. And hopefully your air conditioning system was fine. Mine works fine, but you can see the complexity of this system. This is where the Freon comes in here. Actually, no, this is where the hot water comes in for the heater core, and this is the air conditioning side. And you got this massive blower, and if you turn your heater on in the back, it only works on high, and you don't have 1, 2 speeds, and you just have 3 or 4. Or if you have a 4-speed and you have 1, 2, and 3, it don't work, and you hit high and it only blows on high. This guy here is usually as bad. That is your blower motor resistor right there. So we got 1, 2, 3 items there we just talked about, and we have a secondary switch right here. This is for the air conditioning, and I believe that is the sensor to kick the cycle, the compressor on and off. It is a temperature sensor. So other than that, that is how you get in here and take this panel out to get in here and do some work. And it's pretty simple once you get in here, pretty straightforward, and all that. And I'll do some research here in a little bit and make sure that I can get the right heater core. And if you need to flush this out, you just unhook these wires, these clamps, and you can get in here and flush this out with no issue. So I'm going to replace, like I said, this heater core, and I'm going to replace the front heater core here in a few weeks, because I plan to keep this SUV all winter. It's been a great SUV, and I drove it last winter. It's just I had some problems with the crap in the engine, the antifreeze, some rust and stuff, and it got in there and blocked up the heater core in the front. I did flush it out a few times, and it worked pretty good, but all of these vehicles, the Fords, they have that problem. The corrosion gets in the heater cores and plugs them up, and you flush them and they work for a while, but the real answer is, if you want to fix it permanently, you got to replace the heater core. So there you go. So there is how you take it off. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and it looks like I'll get some part numbers here and eventually put this all back together. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them, but thanks a lot for watching, and until my next project, I'll see you then. Later.